believe that Miami got off to a great start, but Syracuse, when Jim Boeheim went to the bench, they got some energy from the bench, able to get back into the game and, of course, eventually take a 4-point first-half lead into the locker room.
I thought both teams went heavy to the bench. We had 19 players used in the first half.
And this is something that we haven't seen from these two coaches over the previous season, so it's great to see them getting more guys into the rotation. This is necessary in ACC play when you go up against a gauntlet of 20 games in the ACC schedule. You're going to need those guys coming off the bench giving you production.
So Syracuse on top here at halftime, 38-34. Joe Girard coming alive there over the last 10 minutes or so of that first half.
Yeah, Joe Girard, came out of the game early for Syracuse, but once he checked back in, he really started to get the job done, but in an unconventional way for Girard. He was getting it done on the block, in the post, going up against Bensley Joseph, able to finish over the top. And then once again, going up against Joseph, getting him into the air, and not only his first, but his second and one in the first half, taking Nigel Pack down to the block as well. And this is not what we've seen from Joe Girard throughout his time at Syracuse, but it's been effective for him today. And Jordan Miller inside the zone. It's always important when you play against the Orange to have a player that can make plays when they catch the basketball inside the zone. Jordan Miller has made 3 of those throughout this game, 3 for 6 from the field, 6 points for him. He's been effective against the 2-3 zone.
So we check out the game summary. Girard up to 8 points now. Miller has 6. Bench points. Miami with a 3-point advantage there. Let's go to Angel Gray.
Well, guys, I was able to catch up with Coach Larinaga at halftime, and he just took a breath. He said, I am very disappointed with how we are fouling them. We're putting them on the free throw line way too much. They're in some foul trouble, which will make them adjust a few things as far as personnel in the second half, so something to look out for. But on the other side for Syracuse, they said as soon as we got settled into our offense, that's when we were better with getting more points and more looks on the inside to Edwards. So it may be the second or third look on the inside, but they can't stray away from getting the ball on the inside and then rewarding themselves also in the defensive end for transition points.
As Syracuse also, by the way, 9 of 11 at the foul line, so they're making those shots. Miami 10 for 12. And one guy to watch here in the second half is Isaiah Wong, the leader for the Hurricanes. Picked up a couple of quick fouls, and that was pretty much it. He only had a few points.
Yeah, 3 points for Isaiah Wong from the free throw line. No field goals for him. 0 for 3 from the field thus far. But we know when we've seen Isaiah Wong with second half heroics, the majority of his career here at the U. So no surprise if he still goes off and gets above 20 points to average what he's been doing over the past 8 games.
Last 8, averaging 22 a game, shooting 53%. 38% from 3. They're going to need him here as the second half gets underway here at Coral Gables. Syracuse with the ball up by 4. Vince going over the top and a big-time slam by Edwards.
And great execution out of the halftime locker room. And Jim Larinaga does not like that. And it's a simple play, making sure that you help on the back screen. Got to make sure you take care of your business. Miami unable to do so.
Downstairs, and a big fella getting loose. O'Meara at 6'7" with that big body. 40-36 Syracuse. Vince giving up the dribble. Williams straight on. He buried a triple.
Remember, Benny Williams got yanked out of the game early after making the only field goal in the game for Syracuse.
He's been a different guy since
He really has. The quick conversation with Coach Boeheim, sit down, think about it for a little while, come back in aggressive.
Vince with a quick hand. With the theft, and he will not get the lay-in. There is a foul after that, though, which will go against Miami. Vince also thought he was fouled on the play. Did they get Wong for number 3?
I do believe they did get Wong for number 3 on the trying to get the rebound. Benny Williams hustling in as Judah Mitch felt like he got fouled. But Isaiah Wong picking up that 3rd foul right there. Interesting to see how aggressive he can be. Playing with 3, still with 19 minutes remaining here in this second half.
Right, could be the major story in this game. Their top scorer, and a man who makes them go in deep foul trouble.
Joe Girard going back to the post. He knows he has that advantage over Nigel Pack. A nice find. Inside.
Edwards with the finish.
He goes.
So Girard doing a little bit of everything. Syracuse starting to look a little comfortable here.
They really are. They found something with Joe Girard being aggressive in the post area.
Then again, don't let Pack get a good look from around the logo.
And Nigel Pack goes over 1,000 points for his career, knocking down the three.
What's this shit, man?
We'll have to call that logo range. I believe he was standing in the U on that one.
Girard trying to answer. Let's see if Wong can start to get rolling here. He's not been able to do it. Poplar cut loose off the back iron. He does have good shooting range. Syracuse up 45-39. Here's Bell. Bell on Poplar. Shot clock inside 10. Girard. No whistle there, and drops it in.
I love the no call on that one. Doug Show's right on top of that. Saw all the action. Jim Larrañaga doesn't like it, but I can appreciate the fact that there was no call on that one. Also was not called a flop, which could have happened.
True. Lemire going in strong and a blocking foul. As Edwards hit the deck.
Joe Girard using his body. That's not enough contact for that result. There was contact, so therefore not going to be a flop. But I can respect the no call on that. Great job by our officiating crew here tonight on a number of these plays.
Doug Shows, Doug Sermons, and Keith Kimball, the crew tonight. Foul number 2 on Edwards, by the way.
Who has done a great job this season of staying out of foul trouble in comparison to years past. Fouled out of 3 games this year, which of course have all been losses for the Orange. But understanding how he has to play much smarter, they're going to get offensive foul on Jordan Miller, who took the brunt of that punishment.
That's his first.
You see Miller walking away. He got hit up high, whether it was in the throat, but Judah Mish does a great job trying to fight over the screen. And you see Miller sticking out that left arm, that left leg, causing the contact, getting the offensive foul.
Girard inside that foul line for 2 more. He's played that game all night to perfection.
Hey, he would be balling in the 35 and over league right now, OB. That is 35 and over-ish, and that has been the recipe for success for Joe Girard in this game.
He's doing pretty well in the 18 to 22. Switched in by Wong. Nice touch there. Man, do they need him.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for him to get going, but right now with Joe Girard picking on Nigel Pack on this end of the floor, I wouldn't be shocked if we see Jim Larrañaga go to a zone at some point.
Nice feed there. Edwards will take the hit. Foul against Miami. Back to that shot by Wong.
Yeah, Miami's leading scorer, Isaiah Wong, his first field goal on the day, knocking down the 3 ball. And again, he's a young man we've seen have 20-plus point halves throughout his career at Miami. So would not be surprised if he goes over 20 in this game after only having the 3 free throws in the first half.
Miller putting Edwards to the line. Jesse Edwards, he gets fouled a lot. Makes 69% of his free throws. 16:26 remaining here. And Syracuse on top 50 to 42. Took them a little while to get going, about 5 or 6 minutes, but they've been playing very well since then, since that point of the first half. And Edwards makes the pair.
What happened to the days of the big men from Syracuse not being able to make free throws? You remember go back when we were watching Syracuse? Well, you were actually at Syracuse then, but I was watching Syracuse on TV, the big-time battles against Georgetown, and the Achilles heel was always the free throw line.
Sure was, yeah. Guards could always shoot it.
Yes.
Thankfully. I say that as a Syracuse alum back then. That's going to be tipped up and in by Miller. Got him high in the sky.
And when you are able to bring Jesse Edwards away from the basket, you have those opportunities to offensive rebound.
Oh, Mr. Edwards says hello with a one-handed slam.
He's found the rhythm here to start this second half. Started with the lob out of the halftime locker room great design from Jim Boeheim and got his confidence going on the offensive end.
It's a really nice two-man game going between Girard and Edwards, isn't there?
It absolutely is. And Girard in complete control of this game, attacking Nigel Pack, showing off his strength.
Fires up the long one. That won't drop. In transition, Miller attacks. Great defense by Edwards. The follow on 2 occasions will not go. Big fight for the rebound. And he comes away with it. Here's Poplar. He can't connect from the corner. Syracuse going hard for the rebound. And off the fingertips.
Joe Girard in complete control here in the second half. If he's not taking it to the block, he's finding his teammates. The find to Jesse Edwards with the finish, who has found his way here in Coral Gate.
Well, we have a great one here at the Wasco Center as Syracuse right now outscoring Miami 15-10 in this half. Well, the nation continues to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who just did so much for the black community to ensure the basic human and civil rights for all. But we had to acknowledge also what he did right here in the city of Miami. This was the first city to have an MLK Day parade. There's an amazing statue of Dr. King at the MLK Memorial Park right outside of Miami. And the historic Hampton House was a place where many great civil rights leaders were also able to stay during the segregated South era. But I thought it was very interesting, too, talking with Coach Larrañaga. He started his shoot-around sharing his favorite Dr. King quote, "To whom much is given, much is required." And he told his team, if you aren't aware of the impact of Dr. King, you need to Google him because he did a lot for us today.
No question. Inside, it's once again Edwards working on a big one. 18 points, 8 rebounds.
And Angel, you know, we were talking with Coach L earlier today, and I have used that quote often. I had no idea that it was from Dr. Martin Luther King. So I learned something today just from the standpoint of, and we talked with Coach Larrañaga, and he talked about his love of history, as you have the same, Dave O'Brien. I know you're a history buff. You two share that. And he talked about his love for history and, of course, growing up in the era as to which he loves Malcolm X, but also Martin Luther King was performing the majority of his speeches and his preaching. And he talked about growing up during that time and how much of an impact it had on him as well.
Miller, great feed there, and a vicious slam by O'Meara. Talk about making sure. He certainly did. There have been some spectacular plays, really, both sides in this one. As we come up on 14 minutes to go, Vince just lost it. Lost control of that. Beverly will scoop up. And a whistle and a foul as Wong got hit. Back to the dish and the dunk a moment ago.
Jordan Miller attacking the paint and O'Meara attacking the rim on that finish. As you mentioned, left no doubt on that one. O'Meara with a strong finish.
Taylor with his third foul, Long at the line. He was usually very good, 83%. And Taylor will take a seat. And Malik Brown back on now for Jim Boeheim. Long's been here a long time, since 2019. Top 10 all-time in scoring at Miami.
I believe that Isaiah Wong also is a true senior, however, so he could be one of those guys who could come back next year.
You're correct.
And use that COVID year. I'm sure Jim Larrañaga wouldn't mind keeping him around for another year.
Yeah, you bet. Williams got it up there. Rebound tipped right to him. He put it to the deck. And another collision. And Miami getting after Williams, but another foul on the play. That's one thing that Larrañaga talked about with Angel at halftime. He doesn't like his team committing as many fouls as they have. And that one will go against Joseph, his second.
But that foul was a result of Benny Williams playing hard, even after missing the shot, going back after it, getting the offensive rebound.
Edwards rolling, seeking contact. Jumper by Williams, got it to go. Benny Williams on the money.
Quick conversation with Benny Williams pregame. Simply talked to him about being consistent. That's one of the things that Jim Boeheim and I talked about with Benny Williams over the past 2 seasons, and not just being consistent in games, being consistent in practice, every day being that same guy that he knows that he can trust and rely on.
Zipped inside for O'Meara, yes. Chad O'Meara, the sophomore from Nicaragua. In fact, the first person from Nicaragua to earn a Division I basketball scholarship at any school.
That is history. I like that nugget right there, my friend. That's why you're the notorious K-N-O-W.
Let's go downstairs. Comes right back to him. He's had a big night so far. Relentless here. Left it short. Williams comes away with it. Gerard's the open shooter. That's an out. In transition, they move it to Beverly. Oh, he lost the handle on it. He had a lay-in on the play. Now Syracuse commits the foul with 12:19 to go. And coming up every Thursday night, women's basketball takes center stage at ACC Network. This week, NC State will take on Miami at 6 o'clock Eastern. Then a rivalry matchup between Duke and North Carolina. Another good one coming your way. Women's hoops on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Another big-time game in Carmichael after my guy, the notorious D.O.B. invaded Carmichael last weekend with a huge game there.
Yeah, it was a great piece of theater there because every seat was taken, and you looked around, and Mac Brown, football coach for Carolina, was there. The legendary Anson Dorrance, the soccer coach, he was 5 feet from us. Up in the stands, Roy Williams was there.
Of course, Roy was there.
Roy was a
Roy does not miss an event.
No, he doesn't. But everywhere you look, there was another great coach. 57-51. And says lost it again. Out of bounds, and Miami rallying.
And Miami has been effective with getting the basketball out of Judah Mintz's hands. Early in the game, there were 3 turnovers from the Orange off of plays just like this. The run and jump, the scramble, the trap, the turnover. And right now, there's energy in Watsco Center on the side of the home team.
12:10 to go, 6-point game. Jesse Edwards is the presence so far.
He absolutely has been that. And Jim Larinaga talked to us about Jesse Edwards. He mentioned he thought he had a career high on them a year ago, which he did, 22 points. He's tied that career high this season. But right now, with 12-10 remaining, 18 points already for Jesse Edwards, doesn't look like he's slowing down. He could see another career high against the U here tonight.
On back in, Miami led 11-2 early in the game, but then Syracuse took the lead at the 5:29 mark. They have led ever since. Rebound comes free to Mintz.
Great action right there for Coach L out of timeout with the option to throw the lob to Wong. Not taking that, got a good look for Walker on the interior.
Mintz will lean in, way short. They'll battle for the rebound, and another foul. And Edwards with a look on his face like they got him again. And they did. That'll be 3 on Jesse Edwards. 11:42 left here at Coral Gables.
Legendary coaches going deep into their benches in this game. For Syracuse, all 9 players that have entered the game have scored, and for Miami, 8 of the 10 players that have played have got their name in the book from the scoring standpoint. So when you look at both these two coaches who aren't traditionally known for playing large rotations, both getting a lot of guys in action, and those guys showing up being productive here this evening.
Mentioned Jesse Edwards, second half 10 points. He's made 4 out of 5. The difference maker for the Orange, and Miami turns it over again.
And right now, Coach Larinaga beside himself. When you come out of a timeout and turn it over right there, that's a coach's worst nightmare, especially when you spend all the time drawing up something you want to get executed.
Coaches go, we practiced that. We practiced it over and over. Is Williams in and out. And a rebound by O'Meara. So Miami trying to make a run with 11 minutes to go here on their home floor. Beverly catches, fires. That was rather ugly off the hand. But another rebound by O'Meara. And probably should have shot the ball, and they turned it over.
Yeah, 2 closer quarters right there. The back-to-back turnovers for Miami. But as you mentioned, O'Meara that close to the basket, you got to take your chances. There's a guy that averages 14 points per game, and he's as strong as anyone on the floor. Take your chances trying to get that on the rim if you can get a bucket or maybe even get fouled. Miami's been consistent with the pressure on Judah Mitch, trying to mix up the times when they trap him or when they allow him to bring the basketball across half court freely.
Right around the back off the fake. Here's Williams. No, but the follow is good again. But guess who? Edwards continues to have a big night.
But that's it right there, Obi. Even though Benny Williams doesn't make that shot, he puts Jesse Edwards in a position to get the second chance opportunity. If Amir does that on the other end of the floor, Walker gets that opportunity. 2 points for the Orange that Miami could have used on the other end.
AP Top 10 fresh off the presses today with Houston #1 at 17-1.
And who's that at number 10? Oh, by the way, you see what I did there?
Nice. You practice that. They teach you that in Virginia.
They do. They do.
Get it in whenever you can, but number 10 and 13 and 3. Kansas, the #2 team in the country. They're going to wave that off. Interference with it, so no basket.
Yeah, and that was going in. So that's when Amir just patting his chest saying, my fault. And I love it when I was coaching and having guys say my fault, and I would just look at them and say, I know, you did it. And then there's no question about whose fault it was.
Yeah, it's also on television.
We've got replay.
Gerard, tough shot, can't get that to go.
But those opportunities he should not get against Harlan Beverly, who has the size advantage over Gerard. Beverly doing a great job staying down defensively, denying Gerard that opportunity.
Long feeding Amir, slamming on the brakes. Back up top for the guard. He will penetrate, try to get inside, and plenty of contact there as he'll draw the foul. That was with 7 to shoot. 59-51 Syracuse.
It's a remarkable, great score, the ability to get to the free throw line. That's one of the things we see from Isaiah Wong. He spends a lot of time at the free throw line.
That's a very good thing for Miami because he usually makes them. Bell with his second personal foul.
We talk about the tear that Isaiah Wong has been on over the last 8 games, close to 22 points per game. But the field goal percentage, the rebounds, but most importantly, the assists per game, that's really where he's grown as a player. Not just looking for his opportunities, but being able to facilitate as well. Sure why Gerard was so set on getting it to Edwards.
Oh, look at Edwards going inside, follows his own miss. And that's going to be Syracuse ball. He tried to call a timeout. Jordan Miller airborne there, tried to call a timeout.
Now, I can remember years ago, I believe the rule was taken away to where you could not do that.
Right.
You weren't awarded a timeout. Keith Kimball right on top of that.
It was a time you could, though.
Yes, it would be. Before then, you could. I think they took that away in college basketball.
Mintz against Joseph, who gives chase now. They want Edwards again. Off the fake, yes.
If my memory serves me correctly, that also ties a career high once again for Jesse Edwards at 22 points.
Also a 9th double-double for him this season.
22 points against Miami a year ago, also against Notre Dame earlier this year.
Bell with a foul on the baseline. That is his third. And a 1-and-1 opportunity now for Miami with 8.5 minutes to go. But Syracuse hanging tough here with 61-53 advantage. And it would be obviously a tremendous win for Syracuse. A long way to go in this one, but you come to Miami and you knock off a top 20. And as we mentioned, Syracuse is a program that's, moving up. Right now, they're not getting a lot of support as even a team on the bubble, but you pick off Miami in Miami.
Well, this would absolutely be a quad 1 win for the Orange if they're able to get this game. And I do believe that Syracuse is being penalized for struggling early in the season in their non-conference. As you look at the ACC with 7 teams in the NCAA tournament right now, according to our guy Joey Brackets, Syracuse not one of those 7 teams. However, A win like this could go a long way to getting them in the conversation with Joey Brackets and, of course, later with the NCAA committee.
Get a ton of time, but you win it. Jim Boeheim, you're suddenly 6-2 in the conference, too.
Yeah, and again, I think that, they need some of these wins in order to be able to get in those conversations.
Gerard, ill-advised pass there out of the double team. Down the lane, O'Meara lays it in and a foul, too. No stopping. Norchad O'Meara thundering down the lane.
And O'Meara showing off his ability to handle the basketball and make plays. Jordan Miller coming up with the steal. And after losing the basketball, O'Meara with the Euro step, the finish, the foul, opportunity for the and one, and some momentum in the favor of the Canes. An opportunity now to make this a one-possession game.
Fourth foul on Taylor. Vince will step out now. And Symir Torrance will come on for Jim Boeheim. And one shot coming for the sophomore. Looking to cut it even deeper now. And a three-point play. Had some style on it, too.
It absolutely did. And now you see Miami picking up that pressure. Interesting to see if they go after Torrance here in the backcourt with that scramble defense.
Closest Miami has been in this half. And contact there. The foul will go against Miami. Poplar trying to stay with Gerard. 7:55 to go. It's tightened up a lot.
Another one of the great transfers for Jim Larrañaga, Norchad O'Meara, stepping up here, his 9th double-double of the season. Undersized, but continues to be productive. Strong finish around the basket, has the ability to make plays off the bounce, using both hands. And of course, it's always great to see the big guys get out in transition. Euro stepping his way to the finish in a three-point play.
So he's put together 3 consecutive double-doubles. He's been terrific on the boards as well. Gerard to the baseline. It's on the bench right now for Jim Boeheim. Shot clock at 6 now. Gerard trying to get past Poplar. Drains it.
So Gerard continues to make big shots for the Orange. Got off to a slow start in this game, was picked up his scoring, but his playmaking has been spectacular as well.
Syracuse by 5. Miller spinning in the lane. Got it up there. A lot of iron. Won't drop. Once again, underneath. Strong rebound by O'Meara and another basket.
And whenever Jesse Edwards goes to block the shot, it has to defend.
Edwards, and that's going to lead to a foul as Wong tried to sky up there and defend an alley-oop, and he commits the personal.
Joe Girard at the end of the shot clock, getting to his spot, calm, and is able to knock down the mid-range pull-up. And again, he's the guy, especially with Judah Mintz on the bench right now from the perimeter, that has to be the playmaker, providing points for the Orange, whether he takes it upon his shoulders to score on his own or finds guys like Edwards at the rim.
22 and 10 for him, adding to those totals. Meanwhile, that's foul number 4 on Wong. He has to sit again. Take a look at that foul a moment ago as he went for it.
And you see Isaiah Wong coming across, and again, of course, doesn't want to give up the dunk. But on plays like that, you have to understand your level of importance to the team. If Jesse Edwards is able to finish that, it would have been a tough finish. But if he finishes, that too doesn't kill you. Him having to go sit down on the bench possibly can.
Especially with this much time to go. 64-60. Way downtown. Pack with a miss. He's hit a couple of big ones tonight. Poplar with the rebound. Comes away with it. Here's Miller. Poplar. Back to Miller in the corner. Shot clock dribbling down to 5. Gets it free for Pack and a shot. He buries a 3. And this is a one-point game.
Second chance points. Now even at 12 for both teams. But it's 5 in a row for Miami on this end of the floor.
Gerard trying to answer. Oh my, he's in the cylinder. Kicked right out. They'll get a second chance. 6 minutes to go, and a 1-point lead for Syracuse. Here's Williams. Yes, sir. He nails it. A two-pointer.
And we talk about second chance points. Both these teams in double-figure offensive rebounds. 15 offensive boards for the Orange. The second time Miami's given up that many offensive rebounds in back-to-back games.
Big-time battle inside the ACC tonight. Downstairs, can't lay it in. Omer with a miss. The follow won't go. And it'll go the other way. Syracuse basketball up by 3.
Off of the offensive rebound, Nigel Pack getting in the right spot at the end of the shot clock, able to knock down the 3 ball. And on the other end of the floor, off of another offensive rebound, Benny Williams finding his sweet spot in the corner, able to get the deuce.
Girard 0 for 7 from three-point land tonight. 8 to get off a shot. Mid-range, that's really been where he's made his living tonight.
And Joe Girard, every time he recognizes that he has a smaller Nigel Pack guarding him, he simply just turns his back and gets to his spot, scoring over top of Pack.
Give him 16. Here's Poplar. Yes, he'll switch it in from three-point land. Miami again closing the gap to 2. Isaiah Wong getting ready to check back in for Jim Larinaga. Girard down low. Here's Edwards. And he'll draw the foul before the shot. 4:21 remaining.
Great ball movement against the zone. Whenever you get the basketball inside the zone, you have to have a playmaker. That time, Jordan Miller recognizing exactly where Wooga Poplar was, finding it in the corner for the 3. One possession game for Miami, but it goes back to what Coach Larinaga talked to Angel about at halftime. They continue to foul and put the Orange on the free throw line.
Here with a foul. Edwards gets the roll.
24 points now for Jesse Edwards, a new career high.
He's had some big games, 21 rebounds against Bryant, 26.16 rebounds against Notre Dame, 20 and 11 against Georgetown, but he has absolutely been the man tonight for Syracuse.
And what a luxury to have a big guy that can go to the line and make free throws, especially down the stretch.
Staying away from foul trouble.
Yeah, and that's always key, as Pack lines up another 3.
Man, he's just inside midcourt when he's taking a shot.
At some point, maybe Joe Girard should go take that away. Joe Girard's the guy that would take those same shots. Got to recognize Pack can knock that down.
70-69. Mintz back in. Trying to lay it off for Edwards. Out in front. Beverly will lay it up and in. And Miami has surged into the lead. 71-70.
Nigel Pack making plays here at home. Enjoying his time at the U so much, he shoots it from the U, knocking down what should be 4, and then looking ahead, the pass to Harlan Beverly, able to finish and the lead for the Kings.
East State should be a great afternoon of hoops right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Joe Girard has provided the big buckets for the Orange in this game, but this is the first time he's done it from beyond the three-point arc when his team needed him most. JG3 stepping up, a big bucket to make it a 2-point game with 1:23 remaining.
He is 19. 8 out of 19 with 5 assists. He's passed the ball very effectively. He and Edwards have been outstanding together, but it's Miami in front 78-76. So there's our reset. Syracuse now out of timeouts. Miami has 2 remaining.
And the adjustment for Jim Larrañaga to get Harlan Beverly in the game, not only for what he's done offensively, but also defensively. He's been the guy guarding Joe Girard, taking Girard away from being able to back down smaller players and go score on the bucket, what we saw from him in the first half. Harlan Beverly stepping up off the bench, making big-time plays for his team on both ends of the floor.
Syracuse has to really watch number 24 for the Hurricanes pack, because he can nail it from right there, and he has several times in this game. Girard out to guard him. Coming up on 1 minute to go, under 10 to shoot it. Wong looking to make a move. He slices through. Hesitates, fires. It won't drop. Rebound tipped twice. Girard looking for the save. Saved it right to Miami.
Never saved the basketball to your other team's basket.
And an official timeout with 48 seconds to go.
That was a live ball turnover on Joe Girard, so the shot clock should reset to 30 seconds in comparison to 20 seconds, which is what it would be on an offensive rebound. And we get the shot clock back to 27 now. And again, this gives Miami an opportunity to waste more time. For Syracuse, you don't want to foul, but it's of utmost importance right now to be able to come up with a stop.
It's a big call. Those are big seconds.
It is, and not only the stop, but you've got to secure the defensive rebound if you do get the stop.
Beverly running some time in a 2-point game, approaching 30 seconds to go. Now 7 to get off a shot. Wong on the penetration. No, and Edwards there for the rebound. 22 seconds to go.
And right now, if you're Syracuse, you want to go. Get the basketball into Joe Girard's hands. Allow him to be the playmaker.
Mintz inside. No, it's ripped away with 10.7 to go. 10.7 seconds to play. Mintz took it on his initiative to go inside. And a foul, stopping the clock at 10.7.
And Jim Boeheim will have a conversation with this freshman point guard as he was trying to be aggressive and make a play. But give Harlan Beverly credit. Defensively, he has just stood his ground, whether it's Joe Girard or Judah Mintz. He has stood those guys up. He's been the stronger defender and come up with many big plays on the defensive end of the
Here
floor.
making number 1. He hit 70% at the line. Mintz with 4 fouls. And another one coming for the 6'7" sophomore. And makes them both. Big shots.
And now a 2-possession game. That second one, a huge free throw to get the lead to 4. With only 10.7 seconds remaining, Syracuse is going to have to get a quick bucket and foul to try to gain more possessions in this game.
Now, it's kind of been a recurring theme in this series. Miami falls behind, comes back, and rallies. And now talking with his gifted freshman, Jim Boeheim, chatting up Judah Mintz.
Well, 47 years, Jim Boeheim has a tremendous amount of experience dealing with freshman point guards. He's got 2 of them beside him on the bench. Adrian Autry and Jerry McNamara both started for Coach Boeheim as freshmen. So he's seen these growing pains before. The difference between those scenarios, though, McNamara and Autry were both point guards their entire life. This is new for Judah Mintz playing this position this year. So they have been even more so of a learning curve this far.
Now, if Miami does win the game, give them a lot of credit at the foul line. They made 23 of 26 and 13 of 14 in the second half. Here's Girard. Trying to blow by Beverly, lays it up and in with 4 seconds to go.
That's what you need. And now if you don't get a quick turnover, you've got to foul.
Reaching to foul, and they do foul Beverly right in front of the bench with a little over 3 seconds to go. And 80-78 Miami. Trying to win this game at the line. Beverly is perfect at the line tonight, 6 for 6. Overall, he's just averaged 67%, but he's been better than that tonight.
I'll tell you what, not that these 2 free throws hinge on it, but if Harlan Beverly's able to make both of these and make it a 4-point game, which should ensure a win for the U, He should be getting a game ball when they get to the locker room. I'm sure he will get a water shower.
Wait, he played some big minutes and cool as ever at the line. So now a 3-point lead with 3 seconds to go, 3.4. And they have made their foul shots all night long and big time in the second half. And Girard will drive it, and at the buzzer, that one blocked. And the official's going to walk off the court, no foul on the play. That's the final, 82-78.
We knew it was going to be an exciting, competitive game. It was a lot of fun, partner.
And a victory for Coach Larrañaga over Jim Boeheim and the Orange. Miami bouncing back after a tough loss over the weekend. And they are now 15-3 and 6-2 in the ACC. Syracuse drops to 12-7 and 5-3 in the conference. 82-78 the final. For Corey and Angel, I'm Dave O'Brien. Good night from Coral Gables.